Good morning, everyone, and today we are doing a live Q&A. Have not done one of these in a long time, so been preoccupied with a couple watch-alongs, so thought I would just do one of these things again and just get some questions in, see what people want to know about me because I have been growing substantially, so I know there's a lot of questions that a lot of people probably have, but just haven't been able to. But we will be able to get started with this as soon as we get some people in the chat and as soon as I can get my mic. Okay, it's the wrong plug. That's why my mic isn't working. Hold on. There we go. There. Now. Hello. Okay, there. Now. Okay, yeah, but I have been growing at a substantial rate and gaining a few subscribers every day, which has been an achievement. I'll say that I am extremely pleased with how I've been doing. So very proud of it and excited. I'm going to do this for a little bit because soon I am seeing. Soon I'm seeing Star Wars: The Phantom Menace in the theater. So I already bought a ticket to see it on its re-release, so I can add another thing to my letterbox list of re-releases. Because so far I have only seen Die Hard, The Shawshank Redemption, and The Matrix in theaters on re-releases. I'm going to try and see Raiders of the Lost Ark and Jaws on the re-release. That's going to be happening in something near me, I think. So, let's hope so, because that would be very interesting. But I mean, it's pretty cool to see a Star Wars film in the theater. It'll be the first one I have a memory of seeing in the theater because I think I did see Force Awakens. I just can't remember it, but I'm 90% sure I did see it in the theater. But it's, again, a lot of people hated on Phantom Menace. I don't hate it. I have nostalgia. There's a lot of nostalgia there. It's unhealthy how much nostalgia I have, but I grew up with the prequels and the originals. Was never a big fan. I actually did love The Last Jedi when I first saw it, which, go easy on me, guys. I was only I was like 9 or 10. I should not have probably liked it, or 8 or I can't do this math. I would have been like 9 or 10. So I actually did like it, which I don't know why. I hated Rise of Skywalker from the very beginning. So at least that is something that you guys can at least you can now be friends with me for that, because I hated Rise of Skywalker from the beginning, but kind of everyone did. It was not received well at all. Yikes. That film was torn a new hole. Talk about a franchise where Star Wars is such a great franchise that it can have one of the most horribly received trilogies of all time, and it can still be the greatest movie franchise of all time, because man, it was good. But anyway, let's see, who do we have in the chat? So far, it's only Film Kid. He's saying, hey man, hope you're doing well. Whew. But I need to do some more things on this channel. Like, I'm gonna need to probably make a video explaining about how I need to explain about the fact that I need to apologize to everyone for my little thing about Back to the Future, because I do stand by the fact that I do still think it's a little overrated, but I did watch it again and I did actually like it a lot more, significantly more. But it is definitely a film that should have been. I do think there's elements to it I still do stand by. The incest is unneeded and a terrible plot line, and yeah, I don't like that, but it was a lot better on rewatch. Okay. We got Goji Edits. I hope that I didn't screw up that name, which I probably did. Which film do you like more, The Dark Knight Rises or Batman 1989? They're very close, but I would go 1989 because I hate the amount of just plot holes, contrivances, and there's just so many just terrible plot points in The Dark Knight Rises that are just so idiotic that how did they not realize that this was such a terrible, that they screwed up their thing bad. But I enjoyed The Dark Knight Rises, but it's one of the weaker Nolan films for me, and 89 is one of the better Tim Burton films. Never been a big Burton guy myself. I know he's a very popular director, but he's not really my style. It says Rises for me. It's I can really kind of see the argument for either one. Dark Knight Rises is by far the better of the two, but I would take Batman 89 probably. It could change with rewatch. I have all the I have all the Batman films purchased of like the anthology ones of 89 Returns, Forever, and Robin, and all the Superman ones. They were in the pack, so I just bought it. So I need to go down to Superman ones. I'm going to give the original a second chance because I'm not a big fan of it really at all. I only gave it like a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It's extremely dated and really corny, so it's not really my film. I think Man of Steel is miles better. Yeah, but hopefully it'll win me back over on rewatch, but I have a feeling it could not, but I'm really hoping it does. But let's take a little water break. But great question. Hopefully we'll get some more of these. Yeah. Hopefully we get some Bond questions in here. Yes, I am a James Bond fanatic, so hopefully there's some. Which one you like more? And hopefully it's the older ones because the Craig ones are. I mean, I do love talking about Craig, but I mean the older ones are very underrated. So I would like to talk about some of those. But it's really any questions that people want to give. But hit that like button, guys. Let me put up those banners right now. And guys, I am trying to get some more people in here. So if you guys have a YouTube channel, then please be sure to, well, hit the like button, as I said, but please share this video on your community tab so that I can get some more people in here. It will be very helpful. And if you guys are big fans of this channel and want to financially support it, then go check out my Patreon page. As soon as this is over, I'll probably put them in the description so you guys can take a look at that, see if you want to. But it basically means that you financially support me. You get special perks like videos that I need to get onto. I'm gonna like try and review the entire Evil Dead franchise over on there. So you'll get all of those perks. You'll get tons of you'll get tons of rankings. Like you get to choose monthly rankings that I want to think of. So it's really good. I think you guys will really like it. And since you'll be the only one, you are infinitely get to choose until we eventually get enough people to where it gets a bit harder. Film Kid, keep watch Burn, The Spy Who Loved Me, Quantum of Solace, and Spectre. Burn the heck out of The Spy Who Loved Me. Roger Moore's a terrible Bond. He's easily the worst, and it's a C tier film at best. It is not a good film. Roger Moore tanks any film he's in. Then that's when it gets really difficult. Do I keep Quantum of Solace or do I keep Spectre? Ooh, that's a really difficult one. I've been thinking maybe I might like Quantum of Solace more than Spectre recently. I think I'll go slightly, and this is very slight because they're very close. I think I'll watch Quantum, and I'll watch Solace, and I'll keep Spectre. I enjoy both thoroughly. I love both. Though both are great films and have great action. That really people only pick on because the action scenes in Quantum are in Quantum because really the action scenes are very shot to pieces. But it's really only one scene that I noticed. I feel like people were just jumping on the hate train. So Inspector it has some problems. It definitely has bad ideas. I'll say that. There's a lot of really bad ideas, like the plot point about Bond and Blofeld being brothers is one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard. I mean, who the heck thought that was a good idea? Oh, yeah, but it is what it is. Film Keep Watch Burn, Casino Royale 2006, Skyfall, and Goldfinger. Ooh, those are my 3 favorites. Okay. I would have to burn Goldfinger, sadly. I would watch Skyfall because Casino Royale, the more I think about it, it could be my favorite. I just rewatched Casino Royale and loved it. Which one is it? It's just so difficult. So I think Casino Royale is just more rewatchable for me. So if I was just going purely based on quality, I would keep Skyfall and watch Casino Royale. But I'm assuming that I'm being stuck on an island and I only get to one of them. I get a Blu-ray for, and then the other's like a Mission Impossible thing where I can watch it once. Then after this thing will self-destruct in 5 seconds. So in that case, I would have to have Skyfall self-destruct and have to just keep rewatching Casino Royale. I mean, it is. I think it's longer. If not, it's like a minute or two longer. They're both like in the 220s. Like they're like 2 hours and like 20 something minutes, but they both fly by. But I've rewatched both very recently. But I think Skyfall I like more, but very slightly. It's by a razor thin difference. Whew. Yeah, I'm gonna share this thing. I'm gonna share this. Yeah, I'm gonna share this thing with a few people so I can get some more people in here. Hopefully. You're about to hear my annoying voice for a second. Okay, or not. I actually managed to avoid it. Yes. Okay. Copy link. And there we go. I'm sending it now on the community tab. So there. I can see Filmkid's trying to pick a fight. Yeah, I can tell. I can see the chat. And don't laugh. I can tell I can hear you laughing. I can hear your soul. Okay, sharing this with a couple people, so hopefully there's at least a few people that can be in here, so I don't have to just be insecure on my own. Just have some more people in the chat. You know how it is. Okay. It'll be almost done after this, and Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now let's get back to the chat. Film Kid, keep watch burn. John Carpenter's The Thing, No Country for Old Men, and Pulp Fiction. Oof. Oh, that's a tough one. I would probably, we're going off of just quality and which one's my favorite. I'm burning Pulp Fiction, watching The Thing, and keeping No Country for Old Men, but I love all three. All three are my top. I think all of those are in my top 5 of all time. Tipsy, why is Shrek 2 your favorite movie of all time? Okay, we got a wisecracker here, guys, but apparently this guy either follows me on Letterboxd or just is really good with my channel because I despise Shrek 2. Oh, man, I hate that film. The characters are so just unlikable, except for Donkey and Puss in Boots. They're at least fun. The acting is pretty terrible. The story is really out of focus, and I despise that film. But, man, it's unwatchable, and that's me being kind. Unwatchable is because I'm in a good mood. It's one of the worst movies of all time. It's one of the worst animated movies of all time, up there with something like Spirited Away and Emoji Movie, like Turning Red, just being like equal garbage. A food fight among there, but all of those are just terrible films that should never have been made. They're all just unwatchable. The only reason people like them is because they're animated. That's all. Okay. If you guys are in here, hit that like button, and if you have a YouTube channel, be sure to share this link so that you guys can actually get some, so that I can get some more people in here. Tipsy, thoughts on Shrek 3? Yeah, obviously, no. How do I say this? Shrek 3. Oh man, this is gonna be terrible. I'm trying to think of how to say this without starting to swear because man, I'm just gonna say it. It is a terrible film. The entire Shrek franchise is terrible. One's really bad, two's terrible, three's terrible, and yes, four's terrible. We got Austin here to say give 3 pauses about T3. Oh, come on! Then you give 3 pauses about Terminator Genesis. Oh, I win. I don't think there's a single positive to give, for being honest. The action scene with like that crane thing is pretty cool. And it's now like one of those, and maybe it actually has end credits, and it's not one of those films where you're suffering and then like the last, and like it doesn't end until like there's only like a minute or two left on the film. It's not like one of those films, because if so, I wouldn't be able to watch it. Yeah, there you got 2 and 2 on, and because last time I checked, 2 positives is just as good as 3, even if they're really one of those isn't a good positive. It's kind of an insult. Austin, on paper, the cast CGI is good. The guy who plays the T-1000, dang it! And on paper, and in reality, the cast is kind of good as well. Arnold's much better than he is in 3, but I really don't think I'd give 3 positives if you put a gun to my head and told me you were gonna shoot if I didn't give them. And the funny thing is, I would actually rather take that gun I would rather take that gun to my head than rewatch that film. It is so terrible. Why was it made? Seriously, man, it was so terrible that they had to like give Arnold like some of the greatest treatment to any celebrity. They had to give Arnold like some of the greatest treatment to any celebrity, just to they had to give him like some of the greatest treatment to any celebrity just to get him on. They had to like bribe him to death. He got paid a lot. He got a lot of things. Tipsy, give 3 positives about Shrek 2. Oh, dang it, Austin. Now you're getting him into Shrek 2. Damn. Ugh. Donkey, Puss in Boots. Oh, Donkey, Puss in Boots, and the humor that comes out of Donkey and Puss in Boots. That's genuinely all I can find. And even then, some of their jokes don't land. Frankie, I got 15 more subs. Cool. Austin, find one. Ha ha ha. On paper, it's not a bad film because it's basically the same film as the second. You want yourself a positive? I give you an insult that on paper is kind of a positive, and that is why you do not mess with me when I don't want to like T3. It means that you end up hurting that reputation even more. Because I know what I'm doing. I know how to insult that film to the nth degree. Frankie, I think you mistake Shrek 2 with number 3. No, 2 is just as unwatchable as number 3, debatably even more so. Yeah, no. Actually, I know I could probably do that. Sigourney Weaver's pretty good in it. It's a very well-directed film, and okay, that's 2. And there's a really good shot of the alien over Ripley. That's about it. But it's not a bad film. It's just a film I just hate because of what it does to aliens. Tipsy, the soundtrack for Shrek 2 wasn't bad. I wasn't a big fan. Soundtracks from DreamWorks are not usually my thing, other than like How to Train Your Dragon, which I'm going to try and watch soon. But How to Train Your Dragon is a perfect trilogy. Like the original is flawless in every way. I love that film. Austin, thoughts on the Resident Evil franchise? And thank you, by the way, for being here. I was hoping you would get that link I sent you. Either films or games. Have not seen any of them. Not played the games, never seen the films. But probably my parents would kill me if I saw the games. Not the games, the movies probably. They wouldn't kill me, but they wouldn't be happy at all, probably. But Never been. I'm not a big fan of video game movies. Like I'm more casual. My favorite one is probably the most recent one, one of the more recent ones, Sonic 2, and I would just say that it's decent. Both Sonic films are like, yeah, they're decent. They're not terrible. They're not awful. They're not fantastic. They're just, yeah, they're good. Nothing more really. But yeah, video game films I'm not usually a big fan of because they really can be really bad if they want to. Like I did not like Uncharted at all. I thought that film was really bad. So, you ever wonder why I had to kind of turn down that offer? One, I couldn't get all the films done in less than a month, and B, I'm really not a Uncharted guy. That would have been like among like Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides is like one of my least favorites. Okay, got to get going, so have a good live. Thank you for being here, buddy. Luckily, I have Austin here, who probably, I hope, is not about to leave, because if so, I'm just going to be alone. I have to rely on finding positives for Shrek 2 and T3, which should never have existed because they're unwatchable garbage. Yeah, but that's just the world we live in when people think that it's a smart idea to make these films that should never have been made. I'm just going to start ranting. Although I probably shouldn't, because if I start, I won't stop. Austin, so you haven't seen The Last of Us. I have not. I don't know if I have somewhere to watch. I think it might have been on Max. I don't have Max, so hopefully I heard a lot of great things about it. I heard a lot of great things about it, but Frankie, I think Shrek 3 is the one you're thinking of, not Shrek 2. No, I rewatched Shrek 2 a little bit ago because my buddy wouldn't allow me to say that. Because I hadn't seen it in a while, my buddy wouldn't allow me to say anything bad about it until I rewatched it. I rewatched it because it's the one with like the fairy princess and like the one with like the one with the fairy princess and stuff. The one where they're meeting the parents basically. And it was one of the worst films I've seen in my life. It was unbearable. Tipsy, the Uncharted movie sucked and was super disappointing in my opinion. That is fair. That should have been a lot better. Hopefully the sequel is better because they have a post-credit scene saying that there's supposed to be a sequel if it was financially successful enough. But both Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland were very miscast somehow every time. Somehow Tom Holland just keeps getting typecast. He's been typecast in basically everything. The only time I genuinely thought he was a positive in a film was maybe in Spies in Disguise, which I did see in theaters when it first came out, but he's all right in that one. Everything else has either lost hundreds of millions at the box office, except for the Spider-Man films he's in, or it got terrible reviews and was straight to streaming or something, because almost everything has just really just destroyed him. Like his career is very all over the place. Frankie, Uncharted to my favorite game of it. No idea what you're saying there, but we got Connor Productions saying, "Sup, Ledger? Hey, man, hope you're doing good." Austin, what's the film that really got you deep into loving films? I never really thought about that because really it was my brother just telling me how I could make a YouTube channel, and he just like asked me, so I just so he kind of just told me how to do it. So I don't really know if I have an answer. There's one franchise that I do love, and that is Star Wars. Star Wars was what got me really deep into movies. Like I loved the prequels when I first saw them. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of 2, but I can look past the terrible dialogue in 2, the really corny stuff, which is fun because actually today also I'm actually seeing Phantom Menace. I'm actually seeing it in a few hours at 11:40. I'm going to the theater to see it in the theater because it's having a re-release, and it means I can add it to my list of films I've seen in the theater on a re-release of Die Hard, Shawshank Redemption, and The Matrix. Of those, I think you've only seen The Matrix. Oh wait, no, you have seen Shawshank. Dang it, you haven't seen Die Hard, which you should. But it's Star Wars really got me deep into movies, so I love Star Wars. Favorite movie franchise of all time. Adore it. Who doesn't adore it? It's Star Wars. Ricky, well, I don't hate Uncharted. I think it's okay, but the movie was very disappointing. Considering how much I enjoyed the games, the movie felt like a smack in the face. Connor Productions. What's your opinion on the Sonic movies? We actually just talked about that. I think they're decent. They're not terrible. They're not terrible. They're not off. They're not terrible. I think they're really decent. They're fun, but Austin, I'm debating on going to see the re-release of Dawn of the Dead. I have not gotten on to seeing Dawn of the Dead yet. I think is that what Zack Snyder did? Did Zack Snyder do Dawn of the Dead? Yeah, I think he did. He's done some zombie movie. I think he did Dawn of the Dead. Austin, Star Wars fans, haha, yeah. But Star Wars is just such a great genre. Not genre, it's such a great franchise. Austin, no, the original. Oh, the original. Never gone into that one either. I haven't seen many zombie movies. Connor, I'm doing pretty good, but I just came by to say hi. I'm doing something right now, but if you're still streaming when I'm done, then I'll come by again. Then thank you for being here and hope to see you soon. Frankie, you know film stock has 104K, right? Yeah, I do. Tipsy, the Mario movie wasn't a bad video game movie. Sure, it wasn't amazing, but it was just dumb fun with great references to the game and a killer soundtrack because they actually use music from the games. I do not like the Mario movie really at all. I thought that it was really, really just generic and just so predictable. I'm actually not going to go much longer. I have to go to something. I'm going to be leaving for Phantom Menace at 10:10, so I'm going to need to get done with it soon. So, I'm really not. I've never been the biggest fan of that. Okay, no, I liked it enough when I first saw it, but I think the soundtrack is pretty terrible. Just all this pop music that I legitimately believe they probably just went on to Spotify and got a playlist that said movies that everyone is sick and tired of. That's probably what that soundtrack came from, because that soundtrack is horrendous. They need to stop doing just these terrible pop songs. But man, yeah, I liked Barbie more than I liked Super Mario, which is kind of sad, but yeah, not wrong. Frankie, you think Sean Chandler will hit 300K? Probably. Austin, bro, what? Train to Busan, Zombieland, Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse. Never seen any of them. My dad, I think, has seen Zombieland 1 and 2. Yeah, I know he has double tap purchase, so I'm pretty sure he's seen it. So I have not gotten on the Train to Busan. It was going to be on my a movie from every year of the century list I'm doing with a buddy over 1 month. I think it got booted out by something. I don't know what. I think it was Arrival by Denis Villeneuve. Yeah, I think it was Arrival. Yeah, if it came out in 2016, if Train to Busan was in 2016, let's see. Yeah, I think it was 2016, right? Yeah, Train to Busan got booted out by Arrival. I need some Denis Villeneuve film on here, because I don't think I have one. I think Prisoners got booted out. So wait, do I already have a Denis Villeneuve film on here? Yeah, no, it's only Arrival, so I had to. Austin, oh my gosh, dude, get on it. It's such a perfect movie. Hopefully. Tipsy, not the actual songs, like the composed music. That was pretty impressive what they did. Ricky, do you think Chris Stuckman's overrated? Kind of. I've never gotten into him really. It was even before the controversy. I just never really was on him. He's just not my cup of tea, kind of. But I do think when people say he's just an awful reviewer because of something that they know is wrong, that they twisted his words using. I don't respect people for that, because they intentionally ruined his reputation by taking something like what he said. It was partially his fault. He was very stupid with what he said. He shouldn't. I mean, I do not think that it was a smart idea to do what he did. First of all, doing the thing about saying, I'm only going to be reviewing movies that I like. That was something that was bad enough. The fact that he then put out something that he's not reviewing Madame Web, he then allowed everyone to come at him. It was really stupid of him. So he left himself open for that, but I don't think he's terrible. I think that people just kind of just jumped on the hate train because they could get popular off of his name. That's really the only reason people got onto him. Tipsy, the composed music for the Mario movie is amazing. Not the few actual songs they played in it. Oh no, I agree. I think the score is pretty good. The songs were terrible. The songs I hate. Illumination just does terrible pop songs over and over. There's one of their franchises of Sing is quite literally just that. It is just cute little animals singing pop songs. I like the first one enough, and I'm not a big fan of the second one, which is a hot take because most people thought the second one was significantly better than the first. I did not, but I was very late to the party on the second one. But they're both okay, but it's not really my cup of tea. They're very annoying, kind of. Tell me I'm wrong, guys. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. So we are going to end this thing in a second. So if you guys have any last questions, be sure to put them in the comments, and we shall end this. Frankie, I just didn't like that. He just lied about his opinion. He didn't really lie. He just said that he wasn't going to review Madam Web for this, that. I can't remember. All I know is it wasn't intentionally him knocking the film. It was because I think he was too busy or something. So that's why he did it. People just knew that they could take advantage of it. That's why it actually happened. Tipsy, I've seen The Phantom Menace 2 times now. Once with my dad, once with my friend, and had a good time. Well, great. I think it's very underrated. It's the Star Wars franchise, but I'm glad to see you enjoyed it. Frankie, my song has 87,000 views on it on YouTube. Okay. Okay, well, I better end this thing. So thank you all so much for watching, and this was a fun thing. So thank you for being here, and if you have any last questions, then just wait for the next Q&A, which may be one next week, maybe not, but hopefully. And thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one.